Good morning, everyone. Hey, Joe here. My wife and I have been invited to a wedding here in the Philippines, not only because we're friends with the bride and groom, but also because she's a baker and she's baked the wedding cake. So we're going to show you what's going on through the day with that. Okay, babe, so what's going on?
Well, we're making the chocolate ganache, so we have to melt this chocolate with double boil for the filling of our cakes because it's stable. The customer likes it.
Okay, is this the imported chocolate?
This is an imported chocolate from Malaysia. So this is what we use. It's like about $1.90 per kilo for all this. So you just have to break it up. If you don't put it in the wrap, it's actually easier. So what I do is this. Sometimes I chop it, but I really don't have time to do that. And it's gonna melt anyway.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about anything. It is really hot in the Philippines, by the way. This is, of course, the tropics. All right. Okay, I do want to show you this. This is a sidecar, a typical mode of transportation here in the Philippines. This is parked out around the neighborhood. Hope there's no dog in this thing. People do this to protect them. So I'm going to show you the inside. Of course, that's where the driver will sit. Good, there's no dog. And we'll show you all the way around it. There, and you will sit inside of here. And about up to 3 or 4 people will sit inside this thing. We'll show you more of these later. Okay, here's my wife sifting the more of the chocolate and ingredients. Baking and cooking food business is a big business here in the Philippines, and the food here is delicious and fresh. Okay, so as you can see, my wife is putting icing on the cake and that type of thing. Over there in the distance you can see the cake itself, and eventually, and I mean eventually, we'll take it over to the wedding. That means that if you're a foreigner, do understand that Filipinos have this mañana attitude. They get there, and when they get there, and they show up when they show up. 5 minutes could be 5 hours, and I'm not kidding at all. You know, the only thing about the Philippines, everything here is either too slow, or too loud, and that is no lie. So, I suppose once we get there, then you'll see it. You hear by my wife's laughter, it's true, right? And there she is stacking it. Right there. There used to be a trend, everything goes in trends in the Philippines, by the way, so it used to be a trend that everything would be smooth on a cake. And then it changed to this. Next it changed to something else. So, when you come to the Philippines, being a foreigner, you got to have miles and miles of patience. Take my word for it. You're going to be doing a lot of cursing, a lot of screaming, but make sure you do it inside. Okay, and to foreigners, this is, I don't know why really my wife has this on the table, but this is Ginebra. And it's got, like, I think a devil and an angel on the bottle. This is alcohol. You drink it. They generally mix it with orange juice, something like that, some type of soda. This stuff is fire water. It is majorly strong. It will get you drunk instantly.
Just like Gilby's.
So if you come here and you get this stuff, it's Ginebra. I'm telling you, it's very inexpensive, but it will get you drunk. More on that later. Okay, so here's the wedding cake my wife has finished. And we're going to be taking this out here to the customer soon and attending the party. Okay, so we finally got the cake delivered here, and it delivered here safely. It weighs a ton. And this is the Filipino wedding, so just before it starts. Pretty much the same as anything else, but once it gets started, the Filipinos really know how to party and have a good time. Alright, so more to come on that. Okay, one thing I do want to show you are these. It is so hot in the Philippines, you need to carry around a bandana or some type of handkerchief to wipe yourself and dry your hands. Especially when you go into the bathroom, the CR. There are no you know, towels generally in Filipino CRs in the bathrooms. They call it a comfort room, a CR. So you need to carry this with you. Okay, so the bride and groom have rented out this place. It's a resort here in the Philippines, and it's one of the most inexpensive ones, and it's very nice. As you can see, they ended up paying, I think, I was told, about 8,000 Filipino pesos, which is not even $200 US. You got a nice pool over there and that type of thing. So you can see the savings. And a little tip for any fellow foreigners out there, you're visiting the Philippines and you want to be involved in like a wedding or pretty much anything, do learn some of the Tagalog language. And otherwise, like a situation I was just in, unless I knew how to ask where the bathroom was in Tagalog, it's going to be very difficult for you to find it. All right? Which would be nasaan CR po. And everything is used with po at the end, meaning ma'am or sir, for a show of respect. Okay, so we finally got some food, and Filipinos eat with a fork and a spoon, no matter what the meal is. I'm not kidding you. And maybe I'll show you some of that later and so forth. But anyway, I've got some of the fried rice with vegetables, and this is kind of a vegetable dish, and I like the quail eggs. The eggs are called itlog. That's itlog is an egg in Tagalog. I've got some chicken wings here, which we as Americans all know that. Those are really good. And lechon manok. Oh, that's pork. This is the lechon, but it's not the chicken, it's the pork. Okay? It's really good, and the skin is some of the best part. So I'm going to start eating. Get back to you later. Okay, fellow foreigners, here's a new Tagalog word for you. Instead of banana, in Tagalog, it's saging. That's right. Banana is saging. So if you're in the Philippines and you got some Filipino pointing at their big cart of bananas and saying saging, that means they want to sell you some bananas. Okay, so if you think you're going to visit the Philippines and you're going to rent out one of these places, they also have these huts. Rooms, as you can see here, and you get a bed and that type of thing like that. All right? And for a very small fee you can get that, and they have these grass huts. They're bamboo, and they have seats in them and stuff like that, and that type of thing. Hi, everybody say hello. And for very small fee you can get this, and they're really cool. You can have a table in here and parties and that type of stuff. All right? And also, when you're going to attend a special event in the Philippines, such as a wedding like this, you want to wear one of the traditional Filipino shirts like I've got on here. It's called a barong. So take a good look. That's it, barong. They're really cool. Make sure you get one. Okay, so now we're trying to get a tricycle to go home. That one is occupied. And my wife is trying to flag down one at a tricycle station down that way. We got some information from this little cantina, and in the Philippines, that's the way this stuff rolls. Getting a ride to do anything in this country is really a pain in the backside. You know, it's just a stroke of luck is what it is, and that type of thing. Okay, so the only thing we can find right now is a pedicab, and there's a bicycle attached to a sidecar. So we're going to get in that, and from there we'll go to probably another tricycle or a jeepney. Okay, so here's this pedicab driver just pumping it right here, going up the hill. Okay, so we're sitting in a terminal right now, and what we're going to do is take a multi-cab or a jeepney, and that's another mode of public transportation. And we're just right here at the street, and that will take us where we need to go next. Okay, we got a multi-cab, and we're going to get on that. And this is how you get on them. You see, everybody's packed in these things, and that's it. Okay, so in closing, this I want to show you is just, you see how everyone in here is packed like sardine cans? This is the way in the Philippines you have to travel every day. So expect it when you get here. Or if you can take a cab, it's very expensive. All right, until next time, see ya, subscribe.